I hate this phone. Do you know that feeling when the world is racing ahead in a red-hot Tesla and you're desperately cranking the starter on your 1987 Zaporozhets, and the only answer is the bitter smell of gasoline and the quiet hiss of your own humiliation? I do. My devices always had a unique talent for falling behind. They loaded maps when I had already arrived. They died the moment my boss called. Their cameras turned monuments into psychedelic blurs. I was used to it. I carried that polite failure in my pocket like a sock with a hole in the toe. Embarrassing, but livable. So, when I first picked up the OPPO Find X9, my reaction wasn't love. It was cynical, hard-earned hate. Just another smooth brick. Another flagman that'll record 5 minutes of cinematic 4K and then die while I'm fumbling for a charger in the dark. I looked at it like a circus performer doing a backflip while their eyes scream, "Mom, I'm scared." A beautiful package hiding a void. I decided to break it, not literally, but metaphorically. I took it to Shenzhen, a city that smells like soldering irons, ambition, and cheap coffee. I dragged it into meetings where important people talked about synergy. I soaked it in sweat at gyms where guys had biceps bigger than my future. I forced it to work in airports, taxis, and hotel rooms with views of concrete walls. I waited for it to surrender. I waited for the lag, the blurry night photos, and the death rattle of a battery. But it didn't surrender. And that was insulting. The first thing you notice isn't the design. It's just a glossy slab. No, you notice that you notice nothing. Animations slide like silk. Apps don't open with a delay. They explode with unsportsmanlike speed. Scrolling is a velvet fall into an information abyss. It's disgusting because you're used to fighting, but here you're just carried. It's a new kind of violence, the violence of perfection. The 7,025 mAh battery should be illegal. After a full day of filming, navigation, and panic-checking emails in Shenzhen, it still had 40% left. On the second night, I reached for the charger like a zombie, a ritual as sacred as brushing teeth. But the phone just looked at me with its cold blue indicator showing 15%, as if to say, "You thought I'd give up. I'm not even tired." And the camera? It's a separate story of humiliating comfort. Shooting used to be a spiritual practice. Adjust exposure, pray, take 10 shots, hope for one. The Find X9 took that away too. It just shoots. You point it at the world, and it hands you back a polished, perfect postcard. A eye eraser wipes away tourists like a pencil sketch. A eye reflection remover deletes glare as if it never existed. It's brilliant, and it's terrible. I lost my alibi. I can no longer blame the hardware for a bad shot. Now, my failures are mine alone. This phone is like a highly efficient, irritating psychologist. It mirrors reality back to you, leaving no room to hide behind technical flaws. It's a comfortable, predictable prison where you're fed perfect content and never let out into the chaos of glitches. I've spent my life running, driven by the spikes of small problems, lags, crashes, dead batteries. I ran because the ground was burning. But here, the ground isn't burning. It's solid, flat, and covered in velvet. And there's nowhere to run. The OPPO Find X9 isn't your best friend. It's a soulless, perfect servant. It does its job and disappears into the shadows without waiting for a thank you. And that's the real trash. It made me realize that my years of struggling with tech wasn't courage. It was just a pathetic adaptation to failure. It's being proud of eating soup with a fork while everyone else uses a spoon. I looked at this cold, flawless object and felt existential exhaustion. The world isn't running ahead of me anymore. This phone caught up to it, stood next to it, and is now just waiting for me to stop fidgeting and take the next step. It's not an adventurer. It's the sponsor who paid for my show and is now watching it from the front row with a stone face. If you want to stop fighting and become a pampered prisoner of an ecosystem, this is your ticket. And the worst part? You'll actually start to like it.